It's 10 a.m., so we are going to get started. Thank you, all of you, the 55 of you who showed up before we even were time to start. Thanks for being on time. That's awesome. But we're going to jump right into things because this is a very important topic we're going to cover today. This is something that has affected every single person on Earth. There's no one that is avoiding the damages from the foods that we eat and the way that the quality has decreased over the last 100 years. And it's only getting worse. And so I'm going to turn the time over to our product trainer from Indonesia. And she is going to be teaching us today about how we can fight this battle. So Winda Ekayante is our product trainer from Indonesia. She is incredibly smart. She graduated from the University of Sydney, Australia, with a Master of Nutrition and Dietetics. She's also accredited with the Dietitian of Dietetic Association in Australia, as well as an expert in Indonesia. And so I'll be turning the time over to her right now, where she can take us through this. And then at the end, when we finish up, we will hopefully have time for questions, as well as introducing the topics of our trainings, our product trainings in June. So we'll be announcing those at the end of today as well. But without further ado, Winda, please take it away and teach us about how we can get the nutrition we need.
Thank you very much, Sam. So everyone, good morning. I hope you are about our food quality, how bad it can be, and how does it impact our health, and finding out what is the solution that can be best to tackle this problem. Well, the poor food quality is actually having poor nutrition, and so it is poor. It is not good for our health. The food that we eat every day actually is a fuel for us. It allows us to do all the reactions inside our body, the biochemical reactions that eventually produce energy that allows us to do our work, to do all of our activities. All of this mechanism, we call it as metabolism. So our food is the source of fuel for us to be able to do our metabolism. And this is how these different kinds of food will help us do our metabolism. For example, the first one, if you take dairy products or eggs, they contain lots of good vital molecules and good fats, for example. So it will help into body and turn into a good cholesterol. When we eat food, protein source food like fish or poultry or meat, it contains a lot of amino acids, and it actually helps us with our cell. It will make the cell, the muscle cell for our body. When we have fruits and vegetables, they are rich in vitamins and minerals and phytochemicals, but they also rich in fibers. So all of these phytochemicals, all of these fibers actually help with our overall health, with the wellness. When you take carbohydrates, especially the complex one, the complex carbohydrates, they contain sugars. When you take them, they will be digested into sugars. And this sugar actually is the source of direct energy for our body. But when the energy in is more than the energy out, it will be stored into our fat cells, and thus it will make us become fat. And what about those sometimes food or junk food that we eat? This type of food actually contain a lot of saturated fatty acids. These fatty acids, when we're not using them, it will eventually comes into our body, be stored into our fat cells, and makes us unhealthy, makes us fat. So different types of food actually turn into different types of nutrients and also affect directly to our metabolism. So it is important that we choose a good quality food because the food quality actually determines the nutrient contents. So it's important that you have a good food, balanced food every day with lots of nutrients. Let's look at the way we usually eat sometimes, especially for those of you who have just finished the Ramadan and maybe have some of these festivities. When you look at the screen, might be the type of food that we have usually, especially during the Ramadan. People tend to have lots of snack foods, probably all the foods that rich in saturated fat made with coconut oils, or probably some of these carousels like the sodas, the juice, the packed juice that you drink. Actually, this food have similar characteristics. So it is high in sugar, high in fat, but sometimes low in nutrients. Thus, it contains empty calories, which means it is high in calorie, but doesn't have all the essential nutrients that our body needs. So when you don't eat really good food, a nutritious food, it will impact to your health. This kind of health problems that usually arise, we call them as metabolic syndrome. So what are the characteristics of metabolic syndromes? If any one of you suffer from this disease, it means that you have a metabolic syndrome. If any one of you have hypertension, insulin resistance, so that you need to take insulin injection or you need to take a medicine that helps with your insulin, or if you have a fatty liver, probably you have hypercholesterolemia or dyslipidemia, it's like lipid problems, diabetes, or health mental problems like dementia, heart disease, or cancer. It means that you have a metabolic syndrome. It is the metabolism that doesn't work well in your body. In order to fix this metabolic syndrome, we are always told to eat a wide variety of nutritious food. So different food groups. If you see on your screen, there are different 5 food groups that you need to take every day. So you need to eat every food from carbohydrate source, the fruits and veggies, and then the protein source, anything. But it's not always ideal. The way we eat might not be always ideal. We don't have time probably to prepare all of this meal, or we don't have the resources to take all of this meal, or we don't even have the capability to take down or to eat lots of food as we see in this picture. Moreover, there is an interesting view, which is from around more than 50 years ago. It's already said that the food we have now actually doesn't contain enough minerals or enough nutrients. So no matter how much we eat them, it won't be enough for our daily requirement. So there is no man today can eat enough vegetable to get all the minerals he require because it is the stomach just cannot contain it. So we need to eat more food in order to get the same amount of nutrient that we have made back more than 50 years ago. So this is another finding that is shown that our food now, our crops now is depleted in nutrients already. So this is the finding that many essential nutrients, the minerals and the vitamin have depleted in our crops. Let's say when we see the blue ones here, the copper, it already depleted very significantly, up to 76%. So let's say when we eat one type of food that should be rich in copper, now the content is only maybe up to 24% left over. So we need to eat maybe 3 times or 4 times more than what we used to eat. And another thing, essential nutrients like calcium already depleted up to 30% in our crops. Vitamin C, which we need every day in quite big amount, already depleted up to 20%. So all of these vitamins and minerals in our food isn't enough to provide us with all the nutrients we need. And the environment we live in now actually kind of jeopardize the condition that we already have. Let's say the land pollution, the air pollution, the water pollution, and also the chemical waste that goes into our lands. It actually makes all the crops, make all the food sources actually having poorer quality than what we used to have. Another thing, like pests or virus or diseases, these types of diseases actually makes our farmers goes further with putting more antibiotics, putting more insecticides in our crops, and all of those chemicals, the residue especially, also goes into our body, enter our system, and actually is a poison too for our body. So it is the food we eat right now might not be as good as what we used to have, but instead the food that we eat now actually can be a poison to us. Let's see here. This is the high-level panel of experts in food and nutrition. It says that now 2 billion people lack the range of vitamin and minerals in the diet. It means what? Out of 7.8 billion people, so 1/3 of our world population actually doesn't really eat good quality food. And another thing, 1.9 billion of adults have problems with overweight and also obesity. And it results in an increase in heart disease, hypertension, diabetes, and other food and lifestyle related diet because they eat mostly the fatty food, the highly processed food, and it happens not only in a developed country, for example, as in USA, but it's also happening in developing countries like in Southeast Asia too. So it becomes a trend that more and more people eating unhealthy diet every day. And this kind of disease, the rise in hypertension, diabetes, is actually back again. It's metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome happens because our body cannot do its metabolism properly. So we need to fix it. We need to fix our body so it can do the metabolism properly. But how? There are some suggestions like doing lots of stuff, including the lifestyle changes, behavioral changes, but many of this hasn't been significantly affect our health in overall, especially things that dealing with the metabolic syndrome. So we need to look again at our microbiome. What is our microbiome? The microbiome are any microorganisms that lives inside our gut. It helps us with the digestion of our food, and it maximizes the nutrient absorption, as well as helping in metabolism. The good microbiome especially help us protect from pathogen. Pathogen are everything, every microorganism that can make us sick. For example, parasite, fungi, molds, bad bacteria. We call them as pathogens. So the food quality that we have actually affects directly to microbiome. To explain to you further about this, I'm going to give you an example. So we'll see here, there are two types of food. The green one, let's say, is the good type of food, and the red one is the bad type of food. When we eat them, we digest them, they will turn into small molecules. So you will see this good and bad food turn into the green and red molecules. So inside the body, we call as microbiome, the bacteria, the microorganisms. So different kind of bacteria, different kind of this microorganism will eat different types of food. So remember, the green one is the good. The good bacteria will eat the green molecules, the good ones, while the bad ones will eat the red ones. It enables this bacteria to actually grow more and to actually multiply in our gut. They become more and more. So this type of bacteria actually lives off our food, the thing that we eat every day. So the problem is when we have good food every day, more good bacteria can live because they have more food sources. But the bad ones, if we eat the food that are bad for our body, the bad bacteria will lose it. They will have more food resources, so they can grow more inside of our body. The bad bacteria is the one that causing our metabolism to not working properly. So we don't want this situation. What we want is we want more good microbiomes that lives inside our body. So what if we don't know what sort of microbiomes that lives inside our body? And if the microbiomes lives inside our body are containing bad bacteria, what can we do? So the first, we do a cleansing. We do a cleansing with Clearstart. What is Clearstart 30? It is a 30-day program to clean your guts, to take all the pathogen out from your system. So it is very easy to follow. It doesn't require anything like changing your lifestyle, changing your diet or anything. It doesn't require you to do fasting or whatsoever. Just take the products for the 30 days and it will help you with clearing out some of the bad stuff in your body because your health starts in your gut. So what's in this Clearstart 30 program? First, in the morning, you will take Paraway Plus. Paraway Plus contains so many ingredients, the natural ingredients, that is good for eliminating parasites in our body. The first one is the black walnut. It has been scientifically proven that black walnut can eliminate the worms inside your body. So it has an enzymatic activity. Next good ingredient and also a natural one is pumpkin seed. The pumpkin seed can kill the parasite. So in this study, if you see, pumpkin seed actually effective against the nematode infection in our gut. So nematode is actually worms. And last one, the good ingredients in the Paraway Plus is also a natural one made from garlic pulp extracts. This garlic has an antifungal activity, which means that it can kill the mold, the spore, the fungi inside our guts and clearing out from our system. After you take the Paraway, then wait for some time and then you start drinking the Lifiber. Lifiber is a mixture of lots of fibers. There are the soluble ones and the insoluble ones. So it is very good for our body. Lifiber mostly contain of psyllium husk. The psyllium husk fiber characteristics is that it absorbs water. So once it absorbs water, it will form some kind of jelly, mucilaginous mass. This jelly helps in increasing bulk stool and then also trapping all the waste inside the gut lining, and also helps with the bowel movement. So if you have problems with your bowel movement daily, take this Lifiber, it is really good. So some studies about psyllium husk is also been proven effective to help people with chronic constipation. Another interesting thing about psyllium husk is that it has lipid and glucose lowering efficacy. So what does it mean? It means that when you take the psyllium husk, the Lifiber that contains psyllium husk regularly, daily, your fasting blood glucose actually decrease, and the total cholesterol, total LDL level, as well as total triglyceride actually decrease. And also, it helps with increasing the HDL cholesterol in your body. So HDL cholesterol is good for our body. The LDL cholesterol is not really good, so we don't have too much of it. Another thing that psyllium-enriched cereals or psyllium husk actually really good for people having high cholesterol, hypercholesterolemia. So it can help to lower the total cholesterol in the patient with hypercholesterolemia, and especially those of you who have been taking the cholesterol medicine for a long time. So it is good to add some Lifiber every day. Lifiber mostly contain of good fibers. So fiber is the food for our microbiome. So we call it as prebiotic, which is a good bacteria superfood. So fiber, especially the insoluble ones, are good food for our healthy microbiomes inside our guts. Then in the evening, we will take nature's tea. This is the last part of the Clearstart 30 program. So nature's tea will help to flush out all the leftover waste inside our gut. It contains senna leaf. Senna has a very active ingredients. We call it as anthraquinones. And this anthraquinone actually have a laxative effect. So it helps us to go to the toilet more often. And in the nature's tea, there is also peppermint. And peppermint is really good for soothing your stomach, especially when you have stomachache. And it's also been proven scientifically to help people with irritable bowel syndrome or IBS. After the 30 days, you need to stop taking the Paraway Plus and nature's tea. But you can always take this for 30 days, 3 times a year. You can always repeat the cycle, the Clearstart 30 program, 3 times a year. So the Paraway Plus and nature's tea are to be taken only for 30 days during the program, but the Lifiber, you can take them every day. So because Lifiber is very good fiber source and it is a good prebiotic for our microbiome. Okay. But if you have problems with bowel movement, instead of taking nature's tea, try to take this, the Aloe Vera. So take the Lifiber combined with Aloe Vera. It helps you with the bowel movement, with the regular bowel movement. There is an active ingredient in this BioSlife Aloe Vera called aloe. So aloe is usually found underneath the skin of aloe vera plant. It helps to form a lining for your gut, so it actually protects your gut when there is a pathogen coming in. they will not be able to penetrate into your gut lining and actually make your gut or make your intestine hurt. So it helps with those protection. Also have a mild laxative effect. It helps to loosen the stool a little bit, especially when you have constipation. So it helps with the regular bowel movement. Also, because of its high vitamin, high mineral, and antimicrobial and antioxidant activity, it also helps with the urinary tract infections. So you can take this around every day or 3 to 4 times a week. So remember, once we do with the cleansing, actually we have better gut microbiome. But because we flush everything out from our system, maybe there is not much bacteria left inside our gut. And what we want before is a good bacteria to live inside our gut instead of the bad ones. So once you're done with the cleansing for 30 days, make sure that you put a nutritious food, good nutrients into your body so the good bacteria can grow and multiply inside your gut. So these are all the nutrients that we need every day that allows us to do our metabolism and that allows our good microbiome to grow. And we can get this from the food that we eat, especially the wholesome food, probably the organic food that is less in chemical residue, and probably eating mainly fruits and vegetables will help us to get all of this nutrient. But remember, since our food quality is getting poorer, more nutrients depleted from our food, we might not be able to get all of these nutrients daily. And so what we can do is we take all of the good nutrients, the extract of these nutrients, and take daily produce 24 may help us to fill all the requirements that we need every day. So phytochemicals in the daily produce, they could be vitamin, minerals, antioxidants. These are called as phytochemicals. The phytochemicals in daily produce 24 actually is a blend of different 24 kinds of plants that are all organic, that are all good extracts and readily available for our body to absorb. So imagine that you have to eat 20 kinds of plants every day. And how many of them? Because the nutrient depleted, so we need to take around 30% more than what we used to have. So instead of taking all of this kind of food, maybe our stomach is too full, so we can take this. So at least we get all the good benefits of those phytochemicals from daily produce 24 when we cannot have an ideal meal, when we cannot have all of these food sources in one go. So daily produce 24 is very good nourishment for adults and for kids to take every day. It is a multivitamin. It is the phytochemicals that your body needs. So it is recommended for adults and children to take this daily produce 24 regularly, every day, morning and evening. Once our good bacteria grows, our body also needs nourishment. So LC and the LC family, not just LC vanilla, you can take LC base, LC magna, LC essence, everything LC family. It's actually a good source of nutritious meal replacement. It contains lots of good nutrients inside that is similar to the full meal that we have. So when you are too busy to prepare food, when you don't have time to cook, or you cannot cook, or probably you are on the go and it's something that is very quick to prepare, you can take LC. It is a high protein meal replacement drink mix that eventually help you to burn more fat. And it is a good energy source. but doesn't contain lots of sugar. So it still maintain your sugar level and can actually improve your insulin sensitivity. Oh yeah, for any one of you who has a question, please write down your question on the chat box. So this meal helps us with weight loss and fat loss, and helps with this, help us feeling full for longer time, increasing the muscle mass, because remember that protein is the building source for our muscle cells, improve gut health, as well as lowering the LDL and triglyceride. So this is a study that proved high protein and low carbohydrate diets actually help us to burn more fat. So diets high in whey protein, it increased the metabolism, it increased the fat burning or fat oxidation. So when we eat, when people eat regular diet versus the high protein, low carbohydrate diet, actually their body work more effectively to burn fats. And for those people who want to have a weight loss, actually this kind of high protein diet is better for them. But what sort of protein that is good for our body? We use whey protein and LC. There are so many products out there that says high protein, that could be a meal replacement, but it doesn't necessarily have a complete set of nutrients that our body needs for a meal, for one meal. And different types of protein source is used in those products. In LC, we use the whey. But why? Because whey is better for burning more fat than the other types of protein sources. Let's see in this graph here. So we compare how many fat is actually oxidized within several hours. So fat oxidized means fat is burned. At the beginning, when you take the soy protein and whey protein, they might have the same ability, same efficiency, and producing more energy and burning more fat. But over time, as we go, actually the soy protein have lower ability to burn fat, while whey still maintain its performance in burning fat. It means what? When you take the whey protein, you have more energy supply because it has stable, it's been consistent to burn more fat and turn them into energy. So you have more energy throughout the day when you take LC. And this is a good way to mix the LC. We usually have LC and Lifiber to help with the satisfying hunger and giving us a good nutritious meal as well as good prebiotics. But you can also add some probionics, which is a good probiotic for our microbiome, and mix them with BioSlim or BioSlim-E for extra energy throughout the day. So we can mix all of this LC, not just LC vanilla, but LC base as well, or another LC family. And remember, to sum up today, that we need good nutrient for our gut microbiome and our overall health. And these Unicity supplements that we have actually contains good nutrients too, to meet your daily nutrient requirements. So this is the end of my training today, and probably I will see if you have any questions.
Yes. Well, thank you very much, Winda. That was incredibly interesting. And it's so helpful to know why these products are the great solutions for battling that poor food quality. And so, yes, we do have time for questions. We have about 10 minutes. Winda can answer questions that people are already sending in the chat. And I'm going to ask Winda to focus on the questions that are most relevant and related to the topic we're discussing right now. And I think she also plans to mention another way that you can ask questions outside of these trainings to get help with them as well.
Yes, I almost forgot that one. Thank you, Sam. So for those of you who still have questions about our products, you can also send an email to us, to our team, through science.indonesia@unicity.com. So we'll help to answer all of your questions there. I will type the email address for you to send your questions directly and personally. All right, so I'm going to answer the first question from Aaron Ong. What is the recommended dose of DP24 for children? We usually use half dose for children, which means 1 capsule of fruits and 1 capsule of vegetables for kids. Black walnut safe for pregnant user. So to me, Miss Grace, so we don't recommend that you are taking black walnut for pregnant users, although there hasn't been any scientifically proven research that it is just harmful for pregnant users, but we don't recommend, especially when you take detox or detox products or any product for cleansing. It's not very dangerous for the pregnant ladies, but we think we also consider about the inconvenience for the pregnant women when they take any kinds of laxative, any kinds of detox products. Yet, also some of the detox products actually contains diuretic, which means it makes you peeing more frequently. So it is not convenient and also probably can harm the baby. So we don't suggest that you taking any laxative or detoxifying products for pregnant women. Just wait until the baby is born, and then when start weaning, also can do the cleansing or detox. What is the difference between taking psyllium compared to Lifiber? So of course it is different. Lifiber is a mix of 27 kinds of different fibers. Psyllium is just one type, but this mixture of different fibers is actually good for different types of bacteria. So there are soluble fibers, there are also insoluble fibers. These types of fibers, some are used by our body, and some are used by the bacteria. So the mixture of this in the Lifiber is actually better than taking just one single type of fiber. Yeah, is it all right to take Lifiber twice a day? Actually, there is no restriction on how much fiber you can take every day. Our body, adults, generally needs around 30 grams of fiber a day. So when you take Lifiber, probably you can meet up around 1/3 of your fiber needs every day. Especially if you don't have enough fruit and vegetables or any other fiber source for your body in your diet, you can take this Lifiber more. The other products that is good, not just Lifiber, for the fiber source are the Bio7, BioSlife C, and BioSlife Slim or BioSlife S. So this is also a good fiber source for your body. So you can actually combine those products throughout the day. So for a skinny person that is afraid of losing fat, so which protein is ideal? So different types of protein is actually provide us with different function of the body cell. So it is important that we can take different sources of protein every day. You can take from the animal protein, you can take from the plant protein, and if you can also top it up with the LC protein because it's good for your body. So if you are skinny and you are planning to maintain your weight or even improve your weight, make sure that you have a good source of protein. Usually animal protein is also good, but other content like the fat amount is too much sometimes. So make sure you top it off with the LC products every day after you have your regular meal. So you can take LC up to twice a day if you want to maintain your muscle, you want to increase your body weight. It is good to have 2 LCs a day. Okay. What other? So about the BioSlife E. Any products similar with BioSlife E? Well, actually, you can take different products such as the matcha, Unicity matcha, or you can take Unimate as well to provide you with energy, to provide you with focus every day. So when you need to do your activities and you need more power, you can take those products, Unimate or matcha. Yeah. There is no maximum amount you can take for Unimate and BioSlife E, but sometimes when you take this before you sleep, you will have problems with sleeping because you will feel so alert, you will feel high energy that is inside your body, so you cannot sleep. So it's better to take them in the morning or during the day throughout your activities instead of the time before you sleep.
I think, yeah, and I think we have time for maybe one more question.
All right. So what else? What is product good for low blood pressure? So it could be the problem with your heart or with your vascular blood vessels. Sorry. So when you have low blood pressure, you need to find out what is the actual problem that caused the low blood pressure. But actually taking the cardiovascular health seriously is better. So some products from Unicity are also good to take care of your cardiovascular health. For example, the BioSlife C, the Bio7, and then the Slim, BioSlife X, and as well as ubiquinol CoQ10. And Omega Resolve is also good to help you with the cardiovascular health. Okay, I think that's all.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much, Winda. That was incredibly informative. And yes, before we finish up, I wanted to share a story from that I witnessed, I guess, actually. But many of you might know that our COO, Dan Hughes, does Ironman races, right? So he's an Ironman athlete and does these incredibly long races, and he's done it so long and so many that he's part of a community now where he has friends that are other Ironman athletes. And one of them once asked him, you know, why do you do supplements? Why do you take supplements? Right? Why bother? And I really liked his answer. He said, well, you know, I would love to live in the Swiss Alps and grow all my food in the mountains, have a cows that feed in grass and my own chicken farm. I would love to do that, but it's just not possible for me. And so I use supplements because I want to make sure my body gets the nutrients it needs. And it's impossible for me to do that without using them. It was almost 100 years ago that people started to realize the nutrients in our food were going down. And it's only in the last 20 years this has become a common topic. Right? 50 years ago, supplements were a luxury. an advantage that some people could use to make their lives a little easier. But more and more they're becoming a necessity, right? A tool that we need to use to make sure we're giving our bodies all the nutrients that it needs, that it's designed to have. And the reason we do that, though, and I want to remind everyone of this, that all these supplements, everything we've learned about today, the Clearstart, the DP24, and the Lincoln Plate, right? These are all tools that we can use to help us get what we really want, which is a healthy body, a happy body, a balanced emotional and mental state, the ability to do things with our kids, our siblings, our parents, right? To be around and be there, be active, and have the energy to be good at work, to perform, to get that promotion, to get that next rank, to put in those extra hours and have that great exercise, right? Those are the reasons that we do this. And those are the reasons that we can help other people. And so thank you once again for joining in. And I also wanted to share my screen very quickly to introduce the topics we'll be covering during June. So let's see how this works. But these are our topics for the June training schedule. You can see them, and we'll be announcing these more in each of your markets. You'll have these to view. But next week, on next Thursday, the same time, I'll be giving a training on how we can give life hacks for our behavior. Right? All of us have things that we want to do and things that we wish we had enough motivation to do. Right? Things that are on a to-do list that we haven't been able to get around to, or habits that we've been struggling to create. And we're going to talk about how we can use nutrition and some of Unicity's products to give us an advantage, to make sure that we can get the behaviors we want to done. And then throughout the month, we'll be covering each of these topics with these great presenters. And so it's something that I am very excited about. We're looking forward to. And as always, if you have more questions, please be reaching out to our country managers, myself, Mike, our great staffs like CK, Daniel, and definitely our product trainers, Claudia, Winda, and McKenna Myler. So thank you again for your time, and we will see you all next week. Have a great day.